Before we begin the series, here are 5 of the most common myths about Muslims and sex. Beat these myths out of your head before beginning. Myth 1. A pure Muslim can't be dirty in bed. I don't know who started this myth, but it is flat out wrong. We have halal and we have haram. Any sexual encounters outside of marriage is haram. Everything inside marriage is halal, other than a tiny number of things which I will mention. You can be pure as snow and still be very dirty in bed. What is amusing, in a sad way, is that many younger Muslims think that the practicing, masjid-going, hijab-niqab-wearing sisters have dull sex lives and never venture outside of the vanilla. Not true. I have a theory that Muslims are actually kinkier than non-Muslims because we bottle up all that sexual energy and provide only one outlet, that of marriage. Whatever the reason, though, I can assure you that some of the same Muslim men and women giving halakas and khutbahs and volunteering at the masjid are having very raunchy sex behind closed doors. Being a pure Muslim doesn't mean you don't enjoy sex. It means doing all of that only in marriage and not advertising your bedroom secrets to everyone. In the privacy of your bedroom and between you and your spouse, you can enjoy a very, very rollicking sex life. Myth 2. The only way for a Muslim to learn how to be great in bed is by doing haram things before marriage. This is another myth that many Muslims have fallen for. A Muslim girl once told me that she wanted to marry a non-practicing Muslim man or a convert because he's likely done zina and thus would be better in bed. This is completely false, and it's terrible that people think like this. I had 0 intimate relations before marriage. The first time I kissed a man, it was my husband. My husband was the same. I am the only woman he has ever been physically intimate with, and I have no complaints about him in the bedroom. I have non-Muslim friends who were sexually active in college and still came to me for advice because they didn't know how to have fun in bed. There is no correlation between having sex before marriage and being great in bed. Thinking that doing haram is going to make your halal relationship better is faulty reasoning. The opposite is true. Saving the physical intimacy of sex for only your husband strengthens your bond. This is a man who has announced his relationship to you in public, taken responsibility for shouldering your expenses, and is willing to step up to the plate and be a true father and husband. That man will please you in bed, not a man who added notches to his bedpost in order to brag to his friends. Myth 3. Porn is a great educational tool. Statistically, this is a bigger problem for men than women. There's still a sizable number of Muslim women who turn to pornography, though. Let me tell you in very simple English, porn is a lie. Real sex is not like pornography. Porn is recorded in order to be entertaining to the viewer. Positions which look the best are chosen, not the ones which are necessarily the most enjoyable. It's not the same as real sex. Real sex is sweaty. Real sex has inevitable farts and queefs. Real sex can get smelly. Real sex consists of men and women with imperfect bodies and a need for foreplay. Real sex comes with emotions. Porn is acting. Women are sexual objects in porn, a vessel for male enjoyment. Women fake their moans. They contort their facial expressions. They pretend to enjoy the most uncomfortable positions. The man supposedly makes them orgasm every single time with just vaginal penetration. And talk about unattainable standards. For men and women, but more for women. Even porn stars don't look like porn stars. Before a shoot, they have professional makeup artists work on their face. Most have had plastic surgery. None are overweight. The men are all muscular with gigantic penises. They ejaculate more loads than is humanly possible. Don't get fooled into thinking this is real, or that your sex life should resemble a porn video. Research shows that people who watch porn feel worse about the way they look, as well as the way their partner looks. In short, porn is one of the worst ways to learn about sex. Myth 4. Women's magazines and books, written by PhDs, are excellent sources of sexual education. Many women stack up on these books before marriage. But guess what? Getting a PhD is simply a matter of spending time in a lab or library. That's not sex. You might learn some interesting psychology or physiology, but that's not learning sex. You're making a mistake thinking that knowing the biology, anatomy, and fiqh of sex means you actually know sex. Those books might make for interesting reading, but they're not a sex manual. Myth 5. Religious men lose respect for wives who are dirty in bed. Men love it when their wives are dirty in bed. Why would a man not want his wife to be great in the bedroom? Please follow for more updates.